Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another exclusive showcase. This one is going to be for the Athreos Shroud-Veiled bundle. Oktagon was once again really kind. They hooked me up with the bundle so that I could go ahead and make this video. So big shout out to them. Thank you, thank you. Now, for Athreos Shroud-Veiled, this particular bundle is a little bit different from some of the other bundles we've seen. So as we go into it, you'll see that we only have one card and we get 2 packs. That one card is Athreos. And Athreos reads, as long as the sum of your devotions to black and white is 7 or more, your first creature gets +4, +7, and unblockable. Like the other gods in the set, it also has this resilient modifier, so whenever a player matches the support gem, it gains 1 shield and the support's gem changes its color. Then on the bottom half of the card, tapping out, at the end of your turn, target non-enchanted, non-enchantment, non-token creature you control gains enchanted. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. So there's a heck of a lot of utility that you can use to just chain bring things back, which is pretty cool. As we look at the other pieces of the bundle, we've got 2 booster packs. They come with a select set of cards. So as we scroll through them, you'll see that it's not the full set in each of the packs. It's just sort of specific cards for each one that are thematic to the booster pack's name, right? So for here, the Heroes of Nyx pack, this one is going to go ahead and give us like the enchantments and the heroes themselves, the people, all that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of cool cards that you can get in the packs, and as you're going to see in a moment, the packs actually have a higher drop rate than normal packs. So opening one of these is kind of like opening a premium pack. Now, for my packs, right, so here's going to be my Heroes of Nyx pack. Now, for my Heroes of Nyx pack, here are once again the odds up front. So 50, 20 some odd, and 7%. And so I open up the pack, and our first 4 cards are not exactly what we would be looking for, right? I mean, and this is just going to be RNG, so you know you're going to get what you're going to get. But then we get this beauty right here, which is a pretty cool card. I'm still working out some supreme uses for it to get supreme power, but it's definitely a cool card. You'll see that I already had it. I have all the cards in the set, but 2 now. So here is what I get from my Horrors Unbound pack. And so once again, we get into the cracking, and no Krakens, sadly, but that's okay. The Kraken bundle is to come later. So we go through the first 3 cards, and then the coolness happens. So we get Timerit, which is a pretty solid card, and then we get Kroxa, which is also a cool card. So not bad pulls on the whole for all of that. Now, it's immediately jumping into gameplay, so here you're going to get to see a little bit of what I worked out with this. So my first thought, as you're going to see here, is to use Makar. And so with Makar, with this Liliana, what you do is you use Liliana's first, and you sacrifice Makar, and then you get Makar back due to Liliana's ability. And then you use Athreos to then re-enchant Makar, because when Makar dies to Liliana's first, it removes all of Makar's enchantments and removes the enchanted effect. I also figured that if I gave Makar other enchantments, just as he works with other things, when you enchanted him with Athreos, it would then go ahead and exile creatures, because it would be a new enchantment stack on Makar, but that is not the case. So that was Makar. Now here we're jumping to idea 2, and so you'll see a little bit of jumping around. You'll see that I gave Athreos to Kaalia, and then here I'm giving Athreos to Razia. And so the idea behind this one is what happens if we make a vigilance deck. So a bunch of vigilance critters, and with Kaalia, as we give Kaalia the Athreos buff, whenever Kaalia dies, she's going to re-enter the battlefield and get us a new Razia and a new dragon. So I'm using Dracuseth here. And so there you'll see that Kaalia got killed, and then she enters, we get the 2 critters back, and then you'll see that I've actually already got Athreos on Razia here too. So the idea was, all right, let's put Athreos on Razia, and now here I'm going to go ahead, put Athreos back on Kalia, and so now I've got two Vigilance creatures that can both die and come back, and so that's exactly what you're going to see here. So Kalia and Razia are going to board wipe the opponent, they both die, and then Athreos is going to bring both of them back. Kalia is going to get me another critter, and then I get to go ahead and lay waste to my opponent. So you're going to see there's a number of different decks that I'm going to showcase here. I'm doing this very differently than usual, so I actually filmed for like hours and hours, and then I broke it down into highlights of like what are some of the cool things that I was able to figure out with Athreos. So yes, this isn't a live com, this is a post com. So here you're going to see I'm sticking it onto Razia, and then the more turns that you have, the more critters you can put the Athreos buff on, and then even if your opponent has removal, it doesn't matter, they're coming back. So there is no good way of your opponent being able to get rid of the enchanted buff from your own critters. And so that was the first one. Now here, I had yet another idea. Well, what happens if I pair Athreos with Perforos, who puts a creature into play for free and kills it at end of turn, and then also, you'll see here, Killer Instinct, which also kills something at end of turn if you don't have reinforcements. Now, the first time I tried this out, I got Perforos out first, and then I got Athreos out second, and Perforos triggered to kill the creature first, Athreos triggered to put the enchantment on the creature second. So I wound up losing my creature. So here you're going to see this was my second match. And so this time the idea was, well, okay, so let's try and play Athreos first, Perforos second, and then see if now Athreos will trigger before Perforos. And so you'll see that I'm cutting through gameplay a little bit. I'm not actually skipping anything except mana matches. So there's Athreos coming down first, and then here you're going to see Perforos coming down second. And then we're going to jump ahead here to Golos. Golos comes down. Golos is getting us the land. And then you'll see here that at the end of the turn, I'm going to go ahead and select Golos with Athreos. And so you're actually going to see a whole bunch of little wizardry going on this match. This was actually a really, really fun match because I really had to keep in mind, because of the way that this particular deck is built with all the different sacrificial effects, which creature do I need to actually target with Athreos to make sure that I'm not actually losing my critter. So you're going to see that I'm sort of targeting a whole bunch of different things here, right? So here you're going to now see that the Ilharg comes down. Ilharg is the big bad pig up on the top looking for the three little wolves. And so at the end of this turn, as Ilharg came into play with Perforos, I'm actually going to go ahead and use Athreos to give Ilharg the buff so that when Ilharg dies here, Ilharg doesn't really die. So here you're going to see me putting it on Ilharg. Ilharg dies, but then Athreos brings Ilharg right back. You'll see that I'm also running Borborygmos. This is so that I can get a bunch more creature reinforcements down, and then with those reinforcements, Killer Instinct isn't going to be making me lose my creatures, ideally, right? So I'm still going to be stuck with losing just one creature. And now here, so Golos comes down, we've got Killer Instinct, another Golos comes in, so I've got the Golos reinforcements, and so here I'm recognizing that I'm going to be losing Golos, in that I'm going to be losing a Golos reinforcement, and then I'm going to be losing yet another Golos reinforcement, which is then going to try and kill Golos. And so here you're going to actually see that this turn I'm actually going to be targeting Golos with Athreos so that Golos isn't the critter that dies, right? So Golos dies, but not really, because we've got the Athreos buff, and then now there Golos dies, but Golos comes back, and Golos gives us a land because Golos is enter the battlefield effect. So here I'm just showcasing some cool card interactions that you can get. You can be really creative with Athreos. And I'm actually editing the video and I'm doing it this way just because Athreos isn't a card that you're going to be able to make some super crazy powerful combo out of, like Eidolon, right? It's not a card that you're going to go and pump out 100 damage worth of cards in one turn. It's entirely a tempo card. So it's a card that you would use to better the tempo in your own deck, in that you make it so that your creatures just can't die. And if they do die, it makes no difference. They just come right back. Which then got me thinking, okay, so the creatures dying is no big deal. We actually want them to die. So what would be a really cool pairing of killing creatures with creatures that we don't mind killing, right? So something that's going to kill the creatures, and then something that has an enter the battlefield effect that is super awesome. And so you'll see that I've got a Scab Goliath in my hand here, and so that was like my first thought. I was like, all right, let's make a Scab Goliath deck with Athreos, and then you're going to see the Scab Goliath's running mate here in just a moment. I've actually got 2 creatures apart from the Goliath in this deck because the Goliath wants to sacrifice other things. And you'll also see that I'm not actively playing this match optimally, in that I'm not trying to kill my opponent as quickly as possible. I'm trying to showcase the Athreos. So I'm messing around with different things. And so all in all, I actually had quite a bit of fun in this match and in the previous matches. I've really enjoyed just tinkering around, as this card definitely has made me think about how I'd go about deck building a heck of a lot more than I had to think about something like, I know I keep going back to it, but the Eidolon, right? The Eidolon is really easy to just throw in a deck and then dominate everything with. This card, you actively have to think about, like, what do I want to put in this deck, right? So here's our first running mate, it's Urza, and then there's our second running mate, it's Golos. And so the idea here is that they both have enter the battlefield effects that are going to be getting us blue mana conversion. Urza via his little artifact, and then the Golos via blue lands, blue gem converting lands. And furthermore, if Urza dies, Urza's token also buffs your first creature. So you're going to see soon that when I sacrifice Urza to the Scab Goliath, even though Urza dies, we still get the big buff from Urza's token onto the Scab Goliath. And then not only does Scab Goliath power up from sacrificing Urza, but then Urza comes back and gets yet another reinforcement to his artifact token to buff the Goliath even more and give us even more gem conversion. Now, I was honestly a little bit worried in this match that I would cause a crash just because I was getting so many Urzas, but that, alas, did not happen, so I was really glad about that. Now here you're going to see I'm going to be playing Golos first, and then I'm going to be playing the Scab Goliath second. I just wanted to try and get the Scab Goliath really big, and so Golos comes down. Golos is giving us our Castle Vantris. The Goliath is coming down. It's going to go ahead, kill Urza and Golos. And then here you're going to see Urza dies but comes back, creates another factory, and then all of those supports come together and make our Scab Goliath a 29/31. Now, I really like playing with cards like Scab Goliath. I use it a lot for you need to lose X amount or more creatures and those types of objectives. And so this sort of lends perfectly into a deck like that. And so now, as this game goes, you see that Killer Instinct just killed the Goliath. And so this game doesn't have too much long left. Sarkhan really doesn't have anything to take this particular onslaught now that we're going to be able to make everything just sort of come back and reinforce and power up and all of that. So my final thoughts really on the Athreos bundle is that at $15 for the card with the crystals and the jewels and those 2 special packs with the boosted drop rates isn't so bad, right? I mean, it's a lot cheaper than most of the other bundles are. I would say that if this was a regularly priced bundle, then it probably would not be worth it at just 1 card. But I mean, you saw what I got in my packs. Granted, I got pretty lucky. The Masterpiece odds were, I want to say 7%, and I got a Masterpiece. And then in the next pack, I got both a Mythic and I got a Rare. So not everyone who gets this bundle is going to get that type of pull, right? It's more likely that you get 1 Rare, or maybe you get a Mythic, or you get 2 Rares, or something like that. But Athreos as a card is really cool. It's really fun to play with in that it opens up a lot of different deck ideas and possibilities, but it isn't a game-changing card that you absolutely need to have. So those are my thoughts on it. Thank you so much for watching. and I'll see you in the next one.